This is the Herring Cove beach, right at the tip of Cape Cod near Provincetown, Massachusetts. This is the one I've been trying to drive to in the last 3 videos. For those who've tuned in and who've been watching, thank you so much for sticking by. It has been a long drive from central Massachusetts, but I got here finally. So thank you again for sticking by, and a warm welcome back to this new and last part of this drive that we've been on together. Hope you're doing great. This is my podcast channel, as you know, I call Soliloquist. I essentially talk to myself and hopefully through that with you. And I really appreciate your support coming across my way. It really means a lot for me as I'm trying to grow this channel. And today's episode covers the news, trends, topics, events, and everything all around us. Initial thoughts, tribulations, concerns, reactions, and a good healthy dose of speculation. Yep, speculation. You heard it correct. It's a lot of indulgence on my end, but why not? Everything is basically speculation. Informed, calculated, even skilled, but everything is conjecture at the end of the day. I mean, it is an attempt to try and connect the dots and think about the possibilities from all that is happening in every moment all around us. So yeah, speculate. Let's do that and find out what is happening all around us. Let's dive right in with the first one, as it looks like this is the season of hoarding cash. Selling stocks at real high prices, probably the peaks, maybe. And in fact, maybe the time will tell that these are the dizzying peaks of stocks and markets or not. Case in point, word is going around for some time, and it has been going around, that Jeff Bezos has been dumping his own stock of Amazon, and roughly by now it is more than a couple of billions, right? I mean, I don't have the exact number because, I don't know, somebody is saying 2 billion, somebody said 3 billion. So who knows? But he's not alone. And sometime back, even Zuckerberg did the exact same thing. He dumped his own stock. The latest in this trend is Walmart's Walton family, as they follow the suit and have gotten rid of about 1.5 billion worth of their stocks, I guess. Jamie Dimon is in this list, and he sold his about 150 odd million worth of stocks. Warren Buffett is holding a lot of cash as well. So aren't these early warning signs on economy or what? I don't know. We need to think about that, as your guess is as good as mine. With the amount of information that is available in the public domain, we can only think about these things and notice these things. But this has been, in my opinion, one of the key indicators of the years of impending imminent changes in the economy, if you know what I mean. Look at Macy's. Macy's closing stores. And that's another symptom to notice what's going on. Besides Macy's, even the top banks such as Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank have also shut down many of their branches in recent months and quarters. Is it all just a coincidence that all these top players with the best information and vantage point and advisors and whatnot are selling stocks and cutting down, going lean? Or is there something more going on here? And as common people, as common man, all I can do is think and speculate, because these are a lot of dots and one needs to keep connecting to be able to figure out what's going on. Moving on, what we don't need to speculate further on is, or do we? I don't know, think about it, is about the dream that Apple had of coming out with its own electric car. And electric car, apparently it was supposed to be an automated, self-driven electric car. Look where we are, it's already 2024 and they're just pulling out. It seems clearly from their statement that they are shelving the plans. The 2,000 strong team of employees are being redeployed from electric division to projects related to AI. Apparently, that's what one of the booms would make you do. There must be concerns on spending probably hundreds of millions of dollars on this pipe dream of theirs, and given this season of cost cutting that's going around, This had to happen. It was only a matter of time. And add to that the pressure there must be on AI coming from Nvidia stock. they just they just got bulldozed, those teams, poor guys. It is all about profit margins, isn't it? With the trillions of dollars of market caps, they could not have afforded such expenses for the sake of possibly coming out with some disruptive, innovative car. Sounds all whims and fancies. Somebody just shot them down in the board, maybe. I don't know how it went about the case. It looks like there is a possibility of layoffs because it's a big team, but maybe they'll not go ahead with it. It is a stinking possibility, but it might not happen because losing tech staff could have long-term costs in this competitive market, even more so. So it is highly likely that most of the teams will be absorbed because there are some synergies you could drive from auto-driven or self-driven cars into AI teams anyway. So there is an overlap for sure. But this does come across as a huge blow to the prestige and image and brand of Apple, doesn't it? In fact, from an investor's perspective, it is a show of a weak card and an embarrassment to have failed at something that they boasted openly about. It could have been Tim Cook's Steve Jobs moment, Apple moment, or iPhone moment, or iPod Shuffle moment. Well, they did boast openly about it, and it is now. This is something investors got to think: is it better to be embarrassed, or is it better to be brave and pragmatic and cut your losses, thereby preventing that sunk cost being a victim of the sunk cost fallacy to damage their own bottom lines further. So to each his own, figure out what you think of this, but this has happened, guys. And speaking of electric cars and competition in general in the world, there is another interesting analysis in, again, New York Times article by Robinson Mayer, and he makes a case on Chinese EVs against the Detroit's Big Three. According to him, almost everyone is aware of how the Chinese car makers and in general their manufacturing is offering crushing competitive advantages over anyone else, any other maker in the world, including US makers, these Big Three. Now, question is, would the protective measures or import duties and subsidies and all those things that US government can help their businesses be a good strategy in the longer run, or just short-term tactics, or because these are the pressing needs to help domestic players, because they might just be crushed by these Chinese players coming in with $15,000 cars and $25,000 cars, which are far greater and superior apparently from the reviews that one reads online. No, I don't know, never driven one, but if that's the case, then there's got to be something done by the Big Three, especially if not the Hondas and the Toyotas, who essentially are US car makers now. I mean, I know they're Japanese, but come on. So something's got to be done so as to counter the advantages and superior product that the Chinese makers are coming out with. In fact, and if the US government chooses to protect these domestic players, then would it make them even weaker or domesticated against this wilderness of the world's carnivorous competitive business owners coming from China and where not, and their strategies, which are so razor sharp? So this article was worth reading, so if you can get a hand of this, go ahead, find it out. Otherwise, in general, I mean, it's a good space to weigh options, which side to invest on, and in fact, at the bottom level, which car to buy, in case you're considering buying a car. Oh yeah, so I came across this amazing article. I mean, it just blew my mind that this is the kind of thing that's happening in US, the first world country and all that. But this goes to show the state of businesses, and maybe just a very small part, but hey, this is important. It's a trivial but kind of important indicator of the general milieu, and it is this news that came out of a rat-infested warehouse of Family Dollar stores, which got exposed and cost the firm about $40-50 million in fines and stuff. I just hope those rodents did not tear through the greenbacks and their dollar bills, because they will need those to shell out to settle. And it is astonishing, I mean, as to what levels have the companies stooped to. The level of management dereliction and the quality of management executives is at disgusting levels, if anything. And these infestations are manifestations, in fact. of this problem, of this malaise. It is becoming far more common to have lapses in food contamination, discrimination, poor service delivery in general. And let's not even forget about the staff turnover rates. It's through the roof. People don't want to stick to their jobs not because of the job, just the environment, just the managers per se. The entire middle layer of management are paid well above the real workers, for one thing, and uh, in fact, they're expected to do one thing: decision making oversight. And the question is this the lack of ability to apply the high end education from fancy colleges that is coming to the fore, that is getting exposed, and that these heads got a role to set the examples? It is very likely that the board and top executives, this is what I feel, that they might be able to find better staff at the bottom rung if only they start investing in internal trainings and quality workforce retention. Because it looks like that the day is not too far when quality workforce will become the top asset class on the balance sheets of the companies to buy for. And once that happens with the top corporates and they implement it and they begin doing that, then the rest of the herd will just follow and it'll become an industry standard. There will be fancy reports and articles from McKinsey's and Harvard reviews and all that, making it to be obvious and that it is the core principle of management to have quality workforce and internal growth and all that. We know, how the GE thing worked so well was because of that. There used to be cutthroat competition, performance reviews, and all that. Great oversight structures in those years, but then I don't know, it fizzled out, I guess. And that's the idea of early management principles wasn't it? The Druckers and the I don't know who all those guys were, but yeah. Anyways, let's leave all that fantasy talk and let's talk something real. Bitcoin. Yeah, you got me. I might just be a tad sarcastic over there, but hey, virtual coins are zooming and zipping through the levels again that we saw some time back, about a year and a half, and speculators are going bonkers. They're just snorting money ripped off from simpleton investors who are a poor thing, who don't understand a thing or two about Bitcoin, this tech, the application of it, and of this tech in products and business world in general. But they just want some quick returns, so they are being ripped off. And these guys, the top guys, who are the real players, they're industriously hedging the inflation risks. Probably that's all I see. The only possibility that is happening, because this spike in Bitcoin is kind of synchronized with the stock indexes slipping into the reds. And question is this osmosis of money that is happening? Will this result in new record levels of the coins and such, this whole fraternity, or this time, or would this frenzy be a little different this time? Because hey, let's not forget that there is an ETF from a real life fund as big as BlackRock that completely changes the contour and possibilities also, and the rules and magnitude and everything. So got to watch out this space, because definitely this whole growth will come at the cost of some retail investors, small investors will keep investing $100, $200 at all times. I plead guilty into that contribution at times. But hey, it is the dopamine rush that we all crave for, and we are all victim to that. So of our own vices and our greed. But got to watch out this space and got to watch out very keenly if that shark fin in the shallow waters has or is smelling some blood. What's going on in this space? But hey, it looks like Bitcoin is around 60,000, so make your own call. Aside from all this, it is always something to read Paul Krugman and his articles and his takes on things. I'm not sure which side of things he could turn out to be on, so I play a guessing game with his articles by writing on a piece of paper just based on the caption as to what he might be saying, what his take is going to be. And then most often than not, I am off the mark, way off the mark. And that's what happened with his recent New York Times op-ed the other day. He mentions a book, though. I got distracted totally from what he was actually saying, but what I took away was the book that he mentions, White Rural Rage. The Threat to American Democracy by Tom Scholar and Paul Waldman. So the question posed is that, and it's been a lingering question for centuries now, that the tech progress equals unemployment. Now, is that the case or not? There is, one's got to acknowledge and concede the fact that progress is not painless. I mean, we've witnessed this throughout history, that it does cause a lot of disruption in labor forces, but it goes through. It is so powerful. The disruption brought about by tech is always so powerful that it just goes through. It bulldozes its way through. And another question that this book and this article posed was, does tech cause rural decline? Now, agri and manufacturing jobs do decline in rural areas, but since the cities are unaffordable, so the problems just arise when the work disappears altogether. And when work disappears is another book by sociologist William Julius Wilson. I got to get hands on both these books because the premises of these books are amazing. I have not thought through on these two topics, I guess, and I need to, because it impacts all of us eventually at the end of the day, because it impacts employment opportunities, and which might hit closer to home than we might realize in time, because we might need to upgrade and upskill. So, gosh, I mean, the anxieties this article gave, and let's not even get into that, but this is the real thing that's happening. A big disruption is happening. It's almost like horse carts to cars is happening with AI, and it'll be good to get these books and find out what really happened in the history and learn from it, how people adapted and what impact did technology disruption have on jobs per se, and how it changed the whole contours of employment, and apply the similar learnings possibly in our contemporary and current scenario. Okay, this one I saved the desserts for the very end. The media frenzy over Trump and Biden making time for Texas border visit, and that too a perfectly synchronized one. It's a perfect field day for the media reps. They must be drooling all their way from the studios to the wall, the Mexican wall, the US-Mexican wall. Anyways, thankfully, these two were visiting places that were distant apart. Next thing you know is that there is a war of words and speech and an old school Westerner-style duel happening at the border. But got to give it is such a political gimmickry on all ends. This election year is American reality TV, primetime soap opera level, and no less. There is drama, there is thrill, there is screw-ups, shake-ups. You can expect all that's going to happen here, as the stakes are high. But I mean, stakes are high. I mean, they always say that the stakes are high this election year. This is historic. And, they are going to fight the other side and all that. It's so exhausting. And it is unending. Every time is historic. Yes, of course, every time is going to be historic, because that's the very definition of history. It's past. So let it become past, then talk about the history. Right now, just do the job, man. I mean, it is unending saga. But hey, it is interesting. I don't know about you, but it interests me a lot, the politics of it all, because it matters to the whole world what towing costs in America would deliver. And even on the commerce front and just purely money front, it matters a lot which one would win and what will be the policies followed, adapted, adopted, undertaken. And that impacts all of us, because that's dollar for you. Well, the situation at the border is not any better anyway, so it is very grim. Coming from the news on both sides, in fact, which is agenda-based reporting these days. So given the fact that both sides are saying it, so there is definitely a problem, and nobody can deny that. I mean, 250,000 people crossing border in December 2023 alone. Not a small number. What pressures would it put on the American social system, infrastructure, and all that? That's into question. Yes, there is the other side of the debate that these jobs help businesses cut costs and all that, so whatever that is. But we got to watch out how this would play out, because it looks like Trump versus Biden is happening in 2024. Well, that's all for now, and just about enough to process in one go, I guess. So let's wrap our heads around all this. Hope you enjoyed the drive with the scenic, serene beach called Herring Cove near Provincetown. The sunsets are stunning. The best part is that there is plenty of parking space, especially during the off season. I mean, you can't expect that in the summers, but the parking's pretty awesome. It's one of my favorite spots for one simple reason. If not the beach and the sunset, it's also the parking. The parking allows you to park the car facing the sea and watch the sunset while sitting in the car. You know what? Outside might just be freezing cold. It's New England. The Race Point Lighthouse in the distance, it just adds to the whole glory of the sunset and makes it so picturesque. that you would be tempted. You would find it increasingly difficult to just sit inside the car, so you would be tempted to step out. So better be prepared with all the gear for winters that you need, and good ones, because it is beach. Don't forget that it is breezy, it is water and open. So, but it is all worth. In my experience, it's worth it. Please try and go for a drive right to the very end if you can, and you would be tempted to get out of the car. As I said, it's the pull of the ocean. Don't underestimate it. The sunset are stunning, especially on the clear blue sky days. But hey, this is a nugget that you would appreciate. Don't be disappointed if it is cloudy. In fact, head towards it. Take your chances. That's the thing we got to do with nature. Take your chances. If it is cloudy, it gets even more insane with the dance of colors that happen in the sky. It gets even better. I'm going to share a pic or two from my other visit when it was cloudy. Today it is not in this particular drive, and it goes berserk if you appreciate nature and all these colors and all this stuff, the raw nature. That's about it. That's a wrap. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for sticking by if you have till the very end. Please share, subscribe, like, and please let me know any comments, any suggestions. Feel free to do so. I really appreciate that, and would try and incorporate that in my videos coming forward. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for joining in again. That's a wrap on this episode. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.